I'm going to show you my absolute favorite thing to do to test a vacuum. I call this the why on earth would you do that test, and I'm going to start by putting some pretty typical household things on the rug. This one might not be so typical, but it is a bag of walnut crumbs. I'm going to kind of mush that into the rug a little bit. Then the next thing I'm going to grab is some ground coffee. This is ground for espresso, so really fine. There's some ground coffee. And the last thing I'm going to crunch up is a Girl Scout Thin Mint cookie. These are the best cookies in the entire world, and I will fight you over that. Now I'm done with that. A Girl Scout Thin Mint cookie. So I'm going to go grab the new Lavoid LVAC-300 vacuum cleaner, and we're going to clean this up. And then we're going to talk about why I like this vacuum cleaner. But first, check this out. Some of my squirrel friends are here. This is why I have all those walnut crumbs. My wife and I moved into this house in 1997, and since then we've always had cats. We had 3 at one point, and then 2, 4 cats at one point, and now we have 3 of them, including these incredibly adorable kittens, which aren't kittens anymore. They were born a year ago. We have probably somewhere between 5 and 8 cat beds or cat climbing structures in this house, but the thing that they like to sit on the most is this couch that we brought upstairs when we bought a bigger couch downstairs. And that couch is really hard to clean unless you use something like this, which I am calling the
Pet Hair Buster 4000.
It's got this felt piece over here, which is designed to pull against the fabric to put things into the brushes. But then it's got this really cool pivoting section here that's got these bumps on it. These will also pull and sort of keep the fabric tight, and so things can get pulled into the brush more easily. And since pet hair can really tangle up a brush, one of the things you can do with this is flip the switch on the side and pull out the brush in order to clean off the brush. You know when you go to the car wash and then you go to vacuum the car out and they've got that like scraper thing that helps you scrape all of the dirt off of the floor of your car? Well, the pet hair scraper also does that as well. And that's something that other vacuum systems don't do well. You just have to take the brush and try and scrub the brush really hard inside, and that never really works well. But the pet hair mechanism works very well. Today's cordless battery-powered stick vacs really started their lives as handheld vacuums like the Dirt Devil or the Dust Buster, and those were really great because you could get them into really small areas and clean up any kind of dirt that was difficult to get with a vacuum cleaner. In a lot of ways, the modern electric-powered stick vac has kind of moved away from its original start as a handheld device that could get underneath really small spaces. But the LVAC-300 can be a lot more true to its original roots because you can take pieces off to make it much smaller, and let me show you. The button here underneath the collection bin looks like it's probably for the collection bin, but it's not. That's this button up here. What it does is when you push the button and pull at the top, it separates into 2 pieces. Then you can simply put one of the accessory pieces on and do this. Particularly useful in stairs where it's really hard to get the vacuum down. There are some specs I want to go over with this vacuum cleaner, although most people don't care about the specs on a vacuum cleaner. It either cleans or it does not clean. That's the one spec you really need to know, and this vacuum cleaner obviously cleans. A cool thing about this vacuum cleaner is the 5-stage HEPA cleaning filter, which is great for someone like me because even though I have 3 cats, I am allergic to all 3 of those cats. If you have a vacuum cleaner that doesn't have a HEPA filter while you are vacuuming up cat hair, you're actually blowing cat dander out of the back, and it gives me an allergy attack and I have to go find my inhaler. The vacuum has what they call the triple strike anti-tangle system. That just means things don't tend to get wound up around the brushes. I have not noticed that with this vacuum cleaner. I didn't notice that with the previous Levoit either. I have noticed that with some of the other vacuum cleaners that I have tested, and one that I own on the 2nd floor, which I'll be replacing with this vacuum. There are 3 modes on the vacuum cleaner: Eco, Middle, and Turbo. Feels like low, middle, and high could just have been good. Normally when I'm using the vacuum cleaner, I am using it in Turbo, and that is because I'm just trying to get up something I spilled on the floor. I turn it on its highest, most powerful speed to clean the stuff up. It has a claimed 60-minute runtime on Eco. I don't want to use a vacuum cleaner for 60 minutes, so I have not tested that. All I can tell you is that the Turbo lasts a long time, the Eco would last a lot longer. It comes with 2 extra accessories, although it's really 3 extra accessories, and I'll show you why. So you get the normal base that most stick vacs have, although this one allows you to stand the vacuum cleaner up, which they do not all have, and you get this little brush. I've been using this brush to do things like get the top of the radiator clean or underneath the radiator where it's really hard to get any other vacuum cleaner in there. But then I thought, man, it would be really cool if there was like one of those corner tools with the right angle, and you could really get right into the edge of a corner. And then I noticed there was a little button on here. So if you push the button, you can slide it down, and now you have one of those tools, and I feel feel like an idiot because it took me about 2 weeks to notice that. So if you buy one of these vacuum cleaners, you're welcome. Since the LV-300 falls down to a flat 180 degrees, you can get it underneath things that other vacuum cleaners can't reach, like my kitchen island and underneath my stove. Now, since I reviewed the LV-200 and I love that vacuum, let's talk about the differences, because the LV-300 is $349 and the LV-200 is $149. And that is a big difference between the two of them. Nope, not on the stove. The LV-300 has faster battery recharging. Now I found that the 200 and the 300 seem to have about the same runtime when they're on the turbo mode, but it feels like the turbo mode on the LV-300 is about twice as powerful as that on the LV-200, which means you can vacuum more things in less time. And it's got a screen on it that shows you what percentage it's at when it's charging, and it shows you what percentage it's at when you're vacuuming. Compared to the LV-200, this does have a more powerful motor, which makes a lot of difference when you're trying to vacuum up things like cat hair on upholstery. If you combine that better suction power with this smaller tool, you get a really nice solution for cleaning up dog hair or cat hair or chinchilla hair or guinea pig or whatever you have. One of the things that I find a little bit annoying is that pre-filter inside the canister for the HEPA filter, they don't have like multiples of those in the box, and so you either have to buy more of those or take it out and clean it, which means you're going to be like wringing dirt out of a filter. That's not awesome. My takeaway here is that the LV-300 is a fantastic vacuum cleaner, but I think right now the price is really set at what a brand new vacuum cleaner goes for, and I think that price will drop with sales and other promotions. So what I really want to know, and what the people at Levoit probably really want to know when they watch this video, is would you buy this vacuum cleaner? Are the features worth the price for you? Would you go with something else entirely? Links to the LVAC-200 and LVAC-300 are in the description below, as well as a link to my Amazon store where I have all of my household products that I like so much. If you have any questions or comments, leave them below. I read every question that somebody sends me and I try to answer every single one of them. So I think I've done enough vacuuming for the week. I'm going to go sit on that couch upstairs that I cleaned off the other day, and I'm going to read a book for a while. For Dave Tries This, I'm David Schloss, and as always, thanks so much for giving this a try.